What's up, your boy Domuto. We are back with another video. Today, we are watching UnrealEntGaming Beyond Dragon Ball Super. Ultra Beerus versus Ultra Ligor begins. Wrath of the Strongest Destroyers. Alright. I'm ready to watch this, man. You already know what it is, bro. I don't even know. We gotta talk. This is about to be action-packed. Who y'all got your money on? I still got Ligor. Some people say Ligor about to whoop his ass, so I expected that too, so let's get into it, man. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, baby. Try to get to 1,500 by the end of the year.
As our story now continues, following the initial events of Universe 20's God of Destruction Ligor being shown having to unveil a surprisingly shocking transformation, as with everyone including Ultra Beerus being shown having to look on in absolute disbelief, it was only upon with Ligor being shown having to unveil his Ultra form was when Vegeta went on to then quickly respond, I can't believe that this is really happening right now. As first Lord Beerus shocks us all by revealing this newly formed fighting power of his, and now this newly crowned God of Destruction is also shown wielding it too, with Goku responding, wow, this is just amazing, you guys. As I knew that I had felt something very similar to my Ultra instinct when I first had went and shaked Lord Ligor's hand after meeting him, but even then I couldn't quite tell on what it was about him that I felt that was off at the time, but now I see on why that was, with Gohan having to respond, this is just incredible. And with both of them now at the absolute height of where they can be as gods of destruction, I'm not liking Lord Beerus's chances out there against that destroyer if this spills over, as Whis went on to then chime in, and it's fascinating, isn't it? But only time will tell on just what exactly we can expect to go and see from them as this goes and carries on. And so now because of this, we will just have to go and remain patient in the meantime, as Angel Rumi went on to address Tigron by responding, so now, what do you personally believe, Lord Tigron, since you're the only destroyer to know of Lord Ligor's true potential? What say you on who you believe will claim this victory? With Tigron responding, well, even with my own bias aside, I do not see Universe 7's God of Destruction lasting much longer throughout this fight now that Lord Ligor has decided to go all out here against him, but while I do also maintain respect for Lord Beerus, I do not see him being the one who walks away from this fight as its winner, with Beerus responding, oh, but how are you able to go and reach this level of power, as I had only assumed no, for I was more than certain throughout my training that this kind of transformation was something that only I could have been able to achieve. And yet here you stand before me by wielding a power that I didn't think anyone else among our kind would have been able to reach alongside me. And so now because of this, I must know on the full extent of how this happened, God of Destruction, for I knew that I had sensed something very unusual about you the moment I first laid my eyes on you back on my planet after facing Lord Reno. But even then, I never would have imagined that it was going to be this. And so now tell me, Beerus continues, was this power always something that you had held within you? Have you had this power the entire time, even long before having to be introduced to the rest of us after my battle against Lord Reno? Or was this power and form of yours something that you had only just recently went on to discover? Because I refuse to believe that this was something that you had just recently discovered, and so now answer me, with Ligor responding, you are far more perceptive than I gave you credit for, Lord Beerus, but yes, for you are right, for I have had this power for quite some time, even long before I was told to come down into your universe to meet you alongside meeting the other gods, for I had went and kept this in secret, with Lord Tigron being the only other god of destruction who was ever knowing of the truest extent of what my power is capable of, and as I knew that there would come a time when revealing it would serve a much greater purpose, and now it has, Ligor continues, for my universe here, just as you had suspected, doesn't operate on the same frequency as the rest of the multiverse does, as the accelerated flow of time within my realm has allowed for me to go and train with Lord Tigron for a far more extensive period than most can even imagine that it would. Then while you were honing your skills in not only training with your angel Whis, but had also volunteered to be trained by Angel Ivalco, I, on the other hand, had already done the same, but for a far longer time period than you can even begin to imagine, Lord Beerus. For my goal was to not only go and train with Lord Tigron after learning about what it was that I had told you prior, but I had also set out a secondary goal to try and teach him by guiding Lord Tigron along a similar path into also discovering an evolution that would best suit the attributes that Lord Tigron displays, with the shocked Beerus having to then respond, "Wait, so you had went and achieved such a power long before even touching down onto my planet when you did? And so I was right. Both of your universes do in fact possess an accelerated time scale than the rest of us do, and that was how both you and Lord Tigron were able to grow so powerful so quickly. For you had both been training ever since being appointed as newly crowned destroyers after all, now weren't you? And so that explains it," Beerus continues. "And what do you mean by what you said about helping Lord Tigron discover his own calling?" Beerus questions. "Can he not also go and harness these forms along with wielding these levels of power as we can?" With Ligor then being shown responding, "We indeed do, as you will find that time has passed by much quicker here once you have returned back into Universe 7. But to go and answer your question briefly before we engage, then the answer to your question on if Lord Tigron is able to wield similar feats of strength to our own, then you would be incorrect. For not every god of destruction is capable of combining their destructive nature with the powers of Ultra Instinct, as some gods of destruction are able to combine and incorporate different attributes more so than others, but needless to say, as I have now answered your questions, allow us to go and hereby continue with our battle," to which as Ligor and Beerus were then shown dashing towards one another was when Goku went on to then chime back in, "Oh man, I sure do hope that Lord Beerus is going to be able to hold out against whatever Lord Ligor is about to go and let out against them out there, because, well, I'm just gonna be honest here and say that they have got me all fired up just by simply having to go and watch them," as Vegeta went on to then respond,
two titans
well, you
going at it.
even think about going and trying to call that one out to a fight here against us either, Kakarot.
I like these niggas better than the other guys.
It's because if we weren't
I
able to
like
do
Lord
anything
Tigron
against
better
that
than these
Tiger
niggas,
God,
the
then
other
just
niggas.
imagine as to how bad it'll be if we go and face this one. But then, it was only just upon mid-collision as both Ligor and Beerus went on to create a massive shockwave and nearly blowing both Goku and Vegeta away, was when Goku then went on to quickly chime back in, "Actually, never mind all of that now, because we may not even go and make it out long enough to even call him out to one. Thanks for the save, Broly." But even then, back on over onto the battlefield, as Ligor was then shown having to be in complete control by having to inflict massive amounts of damage to Beerus, was when Ligor then went on to quickly respond, "You'd be a fool to consider your power as being anything close that would be able to rival mine, God of Destruction, but I can now start to see on why you are often referred to as being as fearsome as you are in battle, but if placed into another tournament against the rest of us, or placed in a situation where you are up against unknown gods of destruction, it is your obligated duty to go and show those who stand across from you on why you are the god that you are spoken of out there to be. And while I had went and offered you a chance to call this contest off here against me, this will only continue to grow worse for you, because I don't plan on stopping until I have seen your all, Lord Beerus." As Beerus then fire down multiple blasts by responding, "And so then you better be prepared to fight me until the very end, because I'm not wavering in this contest until my power bests yours." But even then, despite with Beerus' best attempts of trying to blast Ligor, with Ligor being shown making his way towards Beerus and having to swipe away his attacks, was when Ligor then went on to quickly respond, "Then you are just as foolish as you are brave to even want to go ahead and try, Lord Beerus, but even then, while you try, I will only continue to drive your efforts deeper into the ground until I have made you realize that you just cannot compete with me." But then, it was only just upon with Ligor attempting to slash Beerus, with Beerus being shown creating multiple after images and getting out of harm's way, was when Beerus went on to then quickly respond, "And how sure of yourself are you that you aren't going to be the one who is going to find themselves overwhelmed in this battle here, God of Destruction? For it was as I had said even long before our battle even began, that I will never allow for my efforts to be overshadowed, nor will I stand to have my power ever be rivaled by any destroyer ever again. And while you are a worthy contender and someone whom I didn't expect to use this much power against in battle, and if I am to go and uphold my name and my title, then I must be the one who walks away from this battle as its winner. And in order for that to go and happen, I'll make sure that it all ends with this. Beerus went on to then channel up a massive energy attack above him. For you may have been an unexpected yet extremely powerful challenger and the first god of destruction outside of a mortal warrior to push me into using more of my reserves like this. Let it now go and be known that this will be how this will all end, Lord Ligor. And thus, this ends right now.
Hey, Beerus, it's okay being number 2, man.
Destruction down onto Ligor. And so now let's go and find out on just how powerful you truly are when faced up against my sphere of destruction. As I can only go and promise you that you are going to be driven into the ground where there you will face your ultimate defeat, Beerus continues. But even then, it was only just as Ligor was then shown having to grab onto Beerus's blast before them being shown having to be locked in a stalemate was when Ligor then went on to quickly respond. No, I don't think so, Lord Beerus. For you are in way over your head and are already making the same mistake that you went and made before by assuming a premature verdict here against me. Why won't my attack push through you? For I will not have you upstage my power like this without suffering the consequences behind them. And so, why won't you go down? With Ligor then responding, I'll commend you for this effort, God of Destruction. For a sphere of destruction with this much raw power would have instantly consumed and vaporized anyone who dared to challenge its might. However, during this attempt of yours, while you may have not already noticed if you didn't by now, that you went and made a very critical mistake here against me. To which it was only surprisingly enough with Ligor being shown having to now reposition his body and holding the sphere of destruction now above him was when Ligor then went on to continue. Because while your sphere of destruction holds immense power, you appear to lack the additional force and strength that is needed in order for it to fully overtake me. And while your frustrations are now
pushing your shit back, this nigga is like your Jiren right now, Beerus.
You should go and know better than anyone that a destroyer who ranks above the rest can never be taken lightly during the course of any battle that they find themselves in. And since you are now reminded, I am now about to go and demonstrate to you on why such things could never be the case with me. Because while you are no longer the one who is in control of your own mighty attack, let this go and be a painful reminder to you that no matter how powerful you think that you are, there will always be someone out there who is far stronger than you. To which, shockingly enough, it was only just then with Ultra Ligor then being shown having to completely rip apart Beerus' sphere of destruction was when Gohan then went on to chime back in. Are you kidding me? But there's just no way. There is just no way that we just saw that God of Destruction go and do that just now.
How the fuck you rip the shit? I ain't never seen that shit. That's different.
Possible.
This nigga different.
But how did he just go and tear one of my strongest attacks apart like that? Ultra Beerus then went on to look down by questioning. For that shouldn't have been possible for him to go and do.
Hey Beerus, go ahead and back it up, bro.
Was he also able to grab hold of my sphere like that and reposition himself to the point where he was able to tear it in half like that? No, he can't possibly be that much stronger than I am for him to be doing this to one of my most powerful attacks like that. And so I must try another way to win because there must be something that I am overlooking here. As Ligor then went on to respond, that was a valiant effort in your attempts to try and wear me down, Destroyer, but no matter how much you try and no matter how hard you attempt to push yourself to summon a greater power to overshadow my own, you will never find the fortitude to compete with a storm of power as massive as mine, Lord Beerus. For you may have found the willpower to hold out against me so far, which is a testament to your resolve, yourself. However, willpower alone will not be enough to win you the day here against me, Ligor continues. For every moment that you spend standing across from me in opposition, will you only continue to descend deeper and deeper into the pits of the abyss, in knowing that deep down, while you slowly begin to grow weary and fatigued, I, on the other hand, still remain strong. To which, as Ligor was then shown dashing towards Beerus and attacking him, was when Goku then went on to chime back in. Well, although I will admit that even with Lord Beerus being at the height of his absolute power, even after managing to find a way to combine his God of Destruction powers with the principles of Ultra Instinct, I just can't help this feeling, and so I gotta know, Whis, based on what we're seeing out there, Goku continues, how strong do you really think that Lord Ligor is when compared to Lord Beerus? With Whis responding, well, I'm afraid the only answer that I can give you right now, Goku, based on the information gathered by both myself and Lord Beerus, is that I would say if the passage of time within Universe 20 flows faster than our own, then based on the amount of time that Lord Ligor would have had to garner enough experience within his present state, then I would have to go and say that Lord Ligor would be much stronger than Lord Beerus while both having to wield identical forms. However, there does in fact appear to be a clear distinction between the two, if you haven't already happened to have noticed by now, because despite with both of them having to successfully fuse their destructive nature with the principles of Ultra Instinct, Whis continues, if you go and stop and have a little closer look, then you will see that Lord Ligor is far more balanced, Whis says, for his movements appear to be much sharper and his discipline more refined, while Lord Beerus, on the other hand, is unfortunately allowing for his frustrations to take hold of his direction throughout the course of this battle, and it's not something that Lord Beerus was prepared for either, I'm afraid. And while I do still hope that there is some kind of window for Lord Beerus to exploit here against Lord Ligor in order for him to capture this victory, Whis continues, and I'm afraid to say that if this continues to go the way that it currently is, then unfortunately I think that it would be safe to say that there will be nothing that Lord Beerus will be able to do out there against what Lord Ligor has become in order for him to claim the victory over him by the very end of all of this. To which it was only then in the meantime, as Ligor was then shown having to drive Beerus down onto the ground by smashing his body onto the pavement below, was when Ligor then went on to respond, you have endured far more punishment than most could ever even go as far as to dream of enduring, Lord Beerus, but I want you to go and listen very carefully, for you have proven yourself to be more than what I had expected. But while I do not wish to go and harm you any more than I already have, Ligor continues, I ask for you to go and simply stay down while you still can. And I don't say this out of arrogance towards you, but I say this as more of a warning. For if you only continue to rise in this battle here against me, the harsher the consequences will become, Lord Beerus. For this is not something that I want to go and do, but if you force my hand in this situation, then I will do it without hesitation, Ligor continues. And so now what do you say, God of Destruction? For it's as I said, there is no shame in admitting when you have been beaten so that you can live and go and fight another day. And so now what is your answer? With Ultra Beerus responding, you can go and do your worst, for I will not back down here against you, no matter what it is that you go and try to do to me. So let go of me so that I can show you. To which it was only
Beerus, go ahead, step up.
Being shown having to punch his way down onto the ground, with Beerus being shown vanishing and getting behind Ligor, was when Ligor then went on to quickly respond, then if this is going to be how you wish to end things between us, then I will not deny you of your destiny, but while we both know that you are without reach in beating me as you are without a doubt one of the most dedicated and driven gods of destruction that I have ever seen, Ligor continues, for I think that I am finally now starting to understand on why you are the way you are, but make no mistake about what it is that is about to happen here between us, Lord Beerus, because while you are still able to fight and while you are still able to witness the force of nature that I bring upon having to battle against my opponents, let our next engagement here between us be our last, Lord Beerus. To which it was only right then and there now, during that moment, where the Beyond Dragon Ball Super story of the resurrected fallen gods of destruction, the legendary God Saga manga chapter number 8 semi-finale then comes to a close.
I hate it had to be you. Damn, Beerus. It's alright, man. you took a couple of L's in this story so far. I ain't gonna lie. Reno and this nigga, I mean Ligor is a different nigga, but Reno though, come on, dog. But it's alright, bro. I don't know what the next chapter holds, but hopefully you get like a punch on this nigga. I ain't see you get a punch on this nigga yet. God damn, you know what I'm saying? Stand up. Come on, Beer, stand up. Come on now. But anyway, shout out to UnrealEntGaming for this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Check out the last chapter right here, and check out another, story you might like right here. And you know what I'm saying? I'll catch y'all next time. I'm trying to get to 1,500 by the end of the year. Peace.